Welcome to another episode of Tech File Overtime. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all. We're recording this Wednesday night. Bucks just got done defeating the Celtics in Game 5. This episode of Overtime was supposed to be nothing but winning time, episodes 9 and 10. But after that Bucks game, we are calling an audible here. We are going to spend the first half of this show discussing Game 5 and the next half of this show discussing episodes 9 and 10 of winning time together because we kind of feel like they go together anyway. So might as well, right? Let's get into it. Tim's not here. Normally is when he would come in and introduce himself. So he's going to pass it over to Eric,
I am the Eric J.
only known as.
The Eric J.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real IT for Lockhart, the girl next door. You know, holding it down for all the women who love sports.
And it's your boy K Harris, the gentleman,
The gentleman,
the everyday gentleman,
24/7.
but better known as K Diddy.
Take that. All right, man. Like I said, we were like, you know what? We were joking after we got done recording our weekly show. Like, hey, man, it might be sad time if, the Bucks don't pull this together after the game. And it's happy time now. So we're going to talk about Game 5, Bucks, Celtics. The Bucks won in a very thrilling fashion tonight. Had to dig deep in the fourth quarter to come out with that 110-107 victory. Ken, you mentioned that you weren't able to catch the game, had other things to do tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead. What do you want to know about what happened tonight?
Okay. So I've been checking like scores, stats, and all of that. So looking at the stat sheet, like on paper, it looks like Boston should have won.
Yeah.
And then I see what Boston was up by 14 in the fourth.
At some point, I believe.
Yeah, at some point. So like, what happened? Like,
Eric, go ahead.
Shit.
I don't even know how to explain what you just got done watching.
I don't know what I just watched, to be quite honest. Like, all I know is that they were down double digits, and then they kept it close, and then they started hitting shots, and Boston stopped running any semblance of an offense. And next thing I knew, Drew Holiday came out of nowhere, got a block and a steal, and here we are. So that's not great analysis. Like, it's been a half hour since the game has been over. No stats, just vibes.
Yeah, all vibes right here. All vibes right here. The Bucks were getting eaten up alive with Grayson Allen on the court. Boston kept attacking him over and over, and honestly, they were also attacking George Hill. I can understand. I don't know if you saw Game 3, George Hill got attacked in the fourth quarter of that game as well. But I'm guessing Bud was like, hey, man, that was just a bad quarter. That's no slight on George. George can do this. George out here. George did not have it. He did not have it. And once they got those two out of the lineup, they ended up closing with Giannis, Bobby, Wes, Pat Connaughton, and Drew Holiday. Bobby over Brooks surprised me, but like as you were seeing it play out, it just felt like the right move to make. Pat Connaughton is somebody who I've been saying needed to play more, especially in Boston. He's from the area, and he always seems to play super well when he's in Boston. So, Pat Connaughton had a really big fourth quarter. Giannis was doing what he does, and that's really just being the steady. That's what I always say. Giannis is going to try to be the steady and just wait for somebody else to pick up the slack and help him out a little bit. And Drew Holiday hit some timely shots. Bobby Portis had a timely offensive rebound after Giannis missed a free throw that could have tied the game. Giannis missed that free throw. Bobby Portis got the rebound, tapped that right back in. Bucks up one. It's looking real. It's getting real critical And at that point, Drew Holiday gets an amazing block on Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart tried to flop, but it was all ball. And somehow Drew Holiday was able, he was still able to control the rebound. Then
threw it off of Marcus Smart.
Yep. So that the Bucks would have possession. Bucks foul Pat Connaughton. He knocks down both his free throws. Celtics foul Pat Connaughton. He knocks down both his free throws. Celtics have no timeouts remaining. And Marcus Smart has the ball. And at that point, Drew Holiday took the ball. And Marcus Smart tried to flop again. Game was over. Game was over.
Giannis put up a 40-piece.
He had to earn every single point.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, to that point, like, the way Stan Van Gundy was talking about him, you would have thought he had like 13, like 0 for 27 from 3. Like, he was killing that man. And like, I don't really care, like, you know, the announcers don't affect the game at all, so whatever. But goddamn, I think, like, what did he do to you?
I think we cracked the code. Giannis was part of the Sayonara crew sending the Pistons home. So
Sayonara.
That was the one that got him fired, right?
I believe so.
He's still bitter, boy. Every time he see Giannis, he be like, that motherfucker.
Shaking his fist at him.
Shaking his fist. He be having an Arthur fist and shit.
It's just be shaking by his side when he commentating. But man, it was a crazy game. It felt like the rope was slipping from the Bucks, to be completely, like, in the third quarter. I was sitting there stressed. Honestly, I'll be real with y'all. I was stressed about 30 minutes before the game started. I was sitting here like I should like try to take a nap. That didn't work. So I'm gonna go try to take a walk. That didn't work. I was sitting here like, okay, I'm gonna just close my eyes and just listen to the game because I can't actively watch right now. That didn't work. So I just had to be like, you know what? I need to just watch this. And the first 3 quarters were not fun as a Bucks fan.
Yeah, I washed the dishes at halftime. Like, I definitely wasn't listening to that halftime show, and it was just like, you know, I need something to kind of occupy me. So I think that was most of the third. I mean, I like sat down at 8 and watched it for the 4th. So yeah, I feel you on like just needing to kind of find something to take my mind off of things. It was frustrating, like the middle 2 quarters especially. And it was the same stuff that we talked about on the show yesterday, like the Bucks getting in their own way. And, you know, honestly, Bobby and Grayson Allen and obviously George Hill, like, being the weak links on defense. Like, Boston found things that they felt like they could exploit. Some of the post-game analysis that I saw quickly on the timeline from people that are actually, like, breaking down the game, not just people reacting with memes and gifs and shit. But they were saying that they felt like Boston mismatch hunted a little too much. Like, they got out of their regular offense, like trying to go at whoever was being guarded by George, Bobby, or Grayson, and it kind of stagnated their offense. So yeah, I'll have to go back and watch and see like what exactly happened to Boston's offense. Like I said, it just seemed like they just stopped making shots.
Yeah, I see a tweet here from Keith Smith, NBA, and he just said, rewatching the 4th quarter, the Celtics gave up at least 4 3-pointers because somebody, usually Tatum, Brown, or Grant, was barking at the referees and did not get back on defense. That's something that definitely sunk the Celtics tonight. When they didn't get that whistle, they were chirping. Which allowed us to get back and make some plays out of it.
Yeah, and offensive rebounding. Like, I think the Bucks were huge on the boards throughout the game, to be quite honest. But like, especially in that 4th quarter, like, again, shout out to Bobby for like that big offensive board on the Giannis missed free throw. But like, he was doing work like the entire time. Like, there was a possession, I feel like they had like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. I feel like they didn't even end up scoring off of it, but like that was just like the level of dominance that they had on the boards. Because I mean, Boston went small. Like, I think Horford was their only big man on the court. And Bud, right? And Bud kind of, you know, he's always one with size. So I think that it was smart to avoid falling into the same trap that they had in Game 4, which was they downsized with Boston. It's like, not play big, and just see what happens.
Just play with a mobile big. Like we saw at times throughout the game where Brook Lopez would come out and the Bucks were just getting slaughtered at the rim. Like just not having Brook out there really opened up some things for Boston. But in the fourth quarter, instead of, like Eric was saying, instead of trying to match small with small, they kept Bobby out there, and keeping Bobby out there provided a little bit more size, able to get a little bit more rebounding. And I just saw another stat. That's why I like, you got to have your Twitter timeline curated right so you can see the smart folks talking about the game. Justin Garcia pointed out the fact that the Celtics did not attempt a three-pointer in the entire fourth quarter. The Bucks went 6 for 6 from 3 in the fourth quarter, and that will swing it. I've been saying for a while, the Bucks were due for some type of hot shooting from 3. I thought at some point it would be an entire game. Fingers crossed that could be in game 6 for this series, and it can continue thereafter. But being able to knock down some shots in the fourth quarter when it's winning time, no pun intended, it can't be understated. Like, that's a major key, because the Bucks had been super cool from 3 throughout the series and throughout this game. I mean, Giannis hit like clutch threes down the stretch for the Bucks. Like, it was that kind of game in the fourth.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that Christmas Day game where the Bucks just went on a run to kind of close the game out. It's cliche, but seriously, heart of a champion. Like, that team didn't give up. Like, I saw Camille, you retweeted it, and I retweeted it too. I forgot the dude on Bucks Twitter whose name it was, but basically just said, like, they may play dumb, but this team fights. And they really do. Like, they keep it close, and that, being able to defend and just like have heart, like, always keeps you in the game.
I'll say this, Ken, this is the question for you, because you weren't able to watch the game, but like, I'm just looking at the box score. Right?
Damn, Memphis just took off on Golden State. Sorry.
Yeah, they did. If you see Tatum has 34, Jaylen Brown had 26. They were able to get contributions from Marcus Smart and Daniel Theis.
Nice.
Like, Theis, when you look at those numbers, like, are you shocked to see that the Bucks won? Like, I mean, like, yeah, Giannis dropped 40, but just looking at the numbers alone.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm shocked because it looks like, just by looking at Boston numbers alone, it's like, oh, they won this game. Like, it's like damn near no way that they should have lost this game. Like, just looking at like the stat sheet alone, especially with Tatum having, Tatum and Brown having really big games, and then Marcus Smart too. So it's just like their big three basically had good games. So you would definitely expect like they would win this game, especially with y'all being short without mid and everything. I see Matthews stepped up tonight a little bit.
Yeah, he hit some threes.
A little bit. He almost hit 4 threes. I almost laughed. Like, when he hit the third one, I was like, oh, shoot, is he going to finally hit 4 threes?
Hey,
Tim going to be pissed.
He make me bitter every time I see him. I was like, man, I want to choke him, bro.
Man, I saw somebody from Lakers Twitter actually tweet about him. Not during this game. I think it was during game 3 or game 2. But they were just mentioning the fact, they were like, I'm still shocked that the Lakers did not bring West back. They're like, we know he started kind of slow, but it seemed like towards the end of the season last year, he started picking things up for the Lakers. And they were like, it's completely surprising that they did not bring him back when his skill set fits what that team would have needed. And I was like, I didn't watch West on the Lakers like that last year. Like, this season was probably the most I've watched of Lakers basketball, and I'm kind of sad that it happened to be this season when they were this bad. But West, man, at times when West plays within himself, he is good. I'm not sure if when he was playing for y'all last year, if he was trying to finish at the rim often. But that is a recipe for disaster.
All he did was shoot, honestly.
I wish that was the case here.
Yeah, all he did was shoot us. I ain't seen him come to the. I can't remember a duck or a layup, honestly.
Yeah. every time he puts the ball on the floor, it's an adventure.
Man, a big adventure. And I'd be sitting there stressed, like, my God, this is not, you ain't in Portland no more, G. Like, I love you, Wes. Marquette, I feel you. MU. But I'm going to keep a G with you. That's not in your game no more. Like, you're doing a little too much.
He don't got that. He don't got that in his bag no more.
It's not in the bag no more. You can take that one out. Like, just swing it. Just swing it. But no, I mean he came up like defensively. There were times when he wasn't in the game, and I'm like, we need West back in the game. But now I'm looking. That man almost played 40 minutes tonight. Wow. 37 minutes for Wes Matthews, the old man.
Hey, he's putting in that work.
I had the box score pulled up now. Like I knew that Brooke didn't have a great game offensively, but 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even similar. It wasn't like game 4 where it just felt like he had mismatches and they just weren't going to him. Like I don't remember him making any type of impact offensively at all.
Yeah, most of Brooks' impact, from what I was able to, was like just defensively.
Yeah.
Timely rebounds.
Yeah.
Even though he only had 3. Hey, they were a big 3. It was a big 3.
No. I get you. And that's why I like the that's why box score watching can kind of be deceiving because again, aside from Giannis popping for 40, like nothing really stands out.
That's what I was saying. I was like, just looking at it, like for sure Boston would.
Yeah. Like Bobby had a double, like 14 points, 15 boards.
Yeah, had a big.
I said, offensive rebound is definitely, he's dominant there. But then he was like 4 for 14, and you felt that watching the game. But at the same time, like they seemed to play well when he was on the court. But
yeah, boards, didn't he, Bobby?
Yeah, he did. Led the game in boards, I assume.
Yep. No Celtic player had double-digit rebounds.
Again, dominance from the Bucks on the boards. But like I was saying, like on the flip side, Tatum, 34 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like, that's a good game. Like, I will argue that he wasn't like, I'm not gonna say he wasn't good. Okay, I'm not gonna say he was bad, but I'm not gonna say he was good either. Like he could not hit anything from 3. Yeah, 2 for 11 from 3. Like
Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at that.
And he pulled a lot, and like they were makeable shots too. Like they had the Bucks were in a drop. West would get screened off of him. He'd have a wide open pull up 3 and just brick a bunch of them.
Yeah, it took him 30 shots to get 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum. Some might say he was settling for some of the threes that he was taking tonight instead of trying to, push a little bit more. But they a lot of them were good looks. He just wasn't able to knock them down, and I don't know, man.
So after watching this game and watching your Bucks come back, being down 14, what do you expect out of the next game from the Bucks? Do you expect them to end this?
I think I brought this up on the last episode of the show. But Giannis in potential closeout games is really fucking good. Like, I mean, Giannis in any game is really fucking good, but like Giannis brings it in closeout games. And I think the Bucks are undefeated under Bud when they've had an opportunity to close out. So based off of historical trends alone, I'm never confident in the playoffs. But as confident as I get in the playoffs is the Bucks with the opportunity to close things out. Like they are good at keeping their foot on necks. So if they do lose game 6, it won't be from a lack of effort, as we saw today. Like they were getting their ass bust, but they never gave up. So like that's all I can really ask for. I expect Giannis to really bring it. I expect Marcus Flop. I'm gonna call him Marcus Flop.
Marcus Flop.
But yes, I expect Marcus Smart to flop all over the place. That man gonna be like a wet fish.
A wet fish.
They got to do something about offensive fouls and how they're called. I'm not saying that Giannis does not foul at times, because he does. Like sometimes like that was stupid. Like you can't extend your arm like that, bro. Like that's gonna get called every single time. But there was literally a possession where Grant Williams is holding him. Giannis is backing him down, and Grant Williams is just standing there playing like he's just playing defense. And I believe Giannis scored on him. And then like next time down, it's the exact same thing, but the next time Grant Williams just did a trust fall out of it, and it was an offensive foul. And it was like, it's legit the exact same thing, except this time he decided to flop. And now it's an offensive foul because he wants to act. Because at this point, he felt like he couldn't stop him by doing anything but falling over. Like, do we need to get rid of charges for sure, but also just the way that you're officiating the game. Like flop should not be rewarded. I don't know what ref told Coach Udoka after was it game 3? Like if you're not falling, we ain't calling it. That's not how it should be. Like it should be called if it's an offensive foul. It should not matter if the guy falls or not. If it's a push off or whatever the case may be, that needs to be called. But like we got to get rid of all the flopping stuff because it's just disrespectful. And I mean, like I said, Marcus Flop. I'm calling him Marcus Flop.
Hey, it's gonna stick.
Marcus Smart Flop. He just be throwing his body around sometimes, and I'm like, dude, get up.
Defensive player of the year.
And then he'd be like grabbing at his legs and grabbing at his chest. It's like, yeah, cause you bump it like a wrestler, fam. Like
you take hella bumps. Unnecessary.
So like Giannis did run into him, but like not to the point where like he launched himself back. And it's just like, come on, man. Like have some pride. Like have some respect for the game. Like
have some dignity.
You know, like, and this coming from somebody that roots for a team that employed Ersan Ilyasova like 3 or 4 different times. Like
Flop King,
at least Ersan would be in the spot and then just like let you run him over. Like these dudes like really embellish, and it's just
I take that back. Ersan was not a flop king. Ersan was a charge king.
Yeah.
And yet and still we need to get those out the game. They're just we don't need that. Just play some defense. We got about 5 minutes before we got to go into break and then switch over to winning time. And Ken asked about Game 6. Just as none of us know the answer to this for real because we're not doctors and we don't work for the Bucks. We have no inside intel, despite what some people may think.
You might.
Yeah, man, I be getting tweets from people sometimes. They be like, "What's the latest?" I'm like, "I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I don't have none of the tea, man. I can't tell you nothing that's going on. I guarantee you." But do y'all think Chris Middleton plays in Game 6?
No.
My brother just asked me the same question. I think if he is close to coming back, like I think it'll be similar to what up, Tim Kins? I think it'll be similar to like Giannis last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, where it came out after the fact. Like if there had been a Game 7, he would have played. But so like I think that they would hold him out. Like if he's close, they'll probably hold him out. Like, hey, maybe we can steal Game 6 and then give you some extra rest and have you ready for the next series. So I don't think there's any way they play him Game 6, unless I don't think there's any way to play him Game 6. It's possible that he comes back for Game 7.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's just an educated guess, obviously.
I've been looking at Chris. It's been funny watching Chris on the sideline. First, I just want to say I appreciate Chris's drip. It's very understated, but he just dresses really nice to me, like basketball swag. But he's been looking like somebody whose grandma told him you cannot go outside and play until you finish these chores, and he's just sitting there like, but I really want to go outside. Like Chris Middleton ain't somebody who's like really emotional. He doesn't really like. I can't think of the word.
Expressive.
He's not super expressive, but like you can see him. He's just sitting on the sideline, like staring like a little psycho kid. Like, come on, like please, like let me just get back outside and play. But before we go into break and all that good stuff, Tim, since you were able to join us, what were your just overall thoughts on the fourth quarter of this game?
This fourth quarter was kind of like how the series has been. Like I said before, I enjoy the playoffs, and my team been in playoffs. I need all the heartache. I need all the heart attack. I need the stress. I need the ups. I need the downs. I need the fuck y'all. I need the come on guys. I need the I knew y'all can do it. I need all of that. And all
give it to me.
And all of it. All of it. So it was from the beginning of it. Like even with the series, it's like I feel like now, depending on how the third quarter go with calls, depends on how the calls go in the fourth. So games, the first 4 games, it was like, okay, game 1 we blew them out, whatever, cool. Game 2, it was like we was getting plenty calls in the third quarter, but we got none in the fourth.
No, game two we got blown out.
Okay, I give you game 2, but I felt like the calls were kind of skewed. Game 2, we weren't getting as many calls as we thought we should have. The ones that we were getting in game 1, we really weren't getting game 2. Whatever, cool. Game 3, kicked in with the third quarter joint. In the fourth quarter, we were in. No, that was game 4. Yeah, game 4 it was third quarter. Fourth quarter we didn't get nothing. Game 3 it was we got stuff in the fourth quarter, but in the third quarter it's just kind of been weird. I could be getting my little timeline mixed up, but it's just been. I felt like I've been, because I think I even tweeted about it, that the calls that we get in one quarter kind of flips the last quarter. So this game, I felt like we finally were getting the calls in the fourth quarter. Not all of them, because there was some when they were showing Giannis on replay. They had like 3 replays in a row with Giannis getting buckets in the fourth quarter. I like 2 of the 3 replays, he clearly getting fouled. They on his back. They swiping the ball on his arm, his shoulder, his wrist. Like, he getting smacked. They didn't call those, but then when it came down the stretch, and some of the ones that we actually should have gotten, like the Bobby Portis one, we actually got. I didn't let it, but the fourth was great. It was stressful. It was, what are y'all doing? And then it was, okay, y'all doing it. Then it was, okay, Drew. No, Drew. Okay, Drew. It was like, and Bobby Portis like, oh, you missed the bunny. Oh, you got the board. Oh, you missed the bunny. Oh, you got. So
I'll say this.
A lot of that this fourth quarter for this game for sure, but they pulled it out, man, and I was happy for them.
I'll say this to your refereeing point. You might have gotten some of the games mixed up, but your overall point of how inconsistent officiating has been is accurate. It does literally feel like it changes from quarter to quarter, where you're like, that was a foul last quarter, but now it's not a foul. So yeah, that definitely has come into play. But as y'all can hear from this, we excited about it. I think most of y'all said Bucks in 6 as it is, and we look like we on pace for that to happen. So Friday night, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is going to be a beautiful day here too. Might have to drop down to the Deer District or something like that and see what's going on for that game.
I'll be there.
I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to that. But it's too many people for me. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. If you're watching on YouTube, you won't even see an interruption. It'll be 2 separate episodes for you. Listen on the TGN app. Enjoy these ads and some, words from folks who support what we do. We'll be right back.